Hi there, and welcome to the Heavener School of Business Online Business Orientation. My name is Carrie Shattuck, and I'm an academic advisor here in Heavener. Our goal for this orientation is to make you as fully as informed as we can before you start our program. And that means providing you with information about the degree you'll be working toward, the resources that are available to you as a UF business student, and also the environments you'll be working in. In this video, we'll be talking about degree requirements for freshman and sophomore level students who are pursuing the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration degree. In the next video, we'll focus on resources and what we have to help see you through to your degree. And then we'll have you do some reading on your own to learn more about the registration process, how exams are given, how to access your lectures, and more. Be sure to pay close attention. There's tons of information in these videos and readings. And then be sure also to take the corresponding quiz before you attend the live orientation here on campus in Gainesville. So I probably don't need to tell you this, but I'm going to anyway. Earning a Warrington College of Business degree from UF is something you can really feel good about. To give you a bit of background, our college was established in 1926. So if you do the math, we're going on close to 100 years old. Not quite there, but we're getting on up there. We're fully accredited by the AACSB, which is the International Governing Body of Business Schools. We've got over 40 years of distance learning experience, and our undergraduate program is consistently ranked among the top 20 public business schools in the U.S. This means you're going to acquire a first-rate education and a highly marketable degree, which is evidenced by the excellence of our reputation and of our graduates who are heavily recruited by all sorts of companies across the country. Keep in mind, though, that highly ranked schools offer highly rigorous degree programs. Your courses are taught live right here on the UF campus, downstairs, as a matter of fact, in 130 Heavener. They're videotaped and then put on the web about an hour after class. So these are the exact same courses our on-campus students are taking. This is not a lower quality degree. You are earning the same degree as our on-campus students. And so you'll have the same instructors, syllabi, exams, grading systems, etc. as they do. If you're like most of our new online students, you're going to find our courses a bit more challenging than what you're used to. And that's going to be true even if you're a good student. Because of this level of challenge, we want to make sure you have the support and resources you need. You know, I've been with this college for 13 years now, and one thing I can tell you is we have more resources, much more resources than most colleges, and that we allocate those resources to help our students and to better students' experience in terms of bettering our academic programs and the opportunities that we provide our students. That's why we have this orientation and the on-campus orientation too, because you're one of our students and we want you to know that you're important to us, that we're really invested in your success, and we want to bring you in and have you feel like you're a part of our community. All right, so let's get started. The first goal we have is to teach you about your degree requirements and where you can find advising information like that. You're already in the Online Student Center and e-learning, which is essentially a college-level advising site for online business students. But I would like you to pause your video right now, open another tab in your browser, and follow along with me so you can find this information later on. So you'll type in elearning.ufl.edu and go to the e-learning homepage. And then you'll click on the blue Login to e-learning button. You'll have to log in, and then you'll be on the e-learning Canvas homepage. And from there, you'll go to the blue column on the left, click on Courses, and you'll see the Online Student Center and links listed among your courses. Those are the only two that you're registered for right now. Your real courses will appear here when you do register for them. So let's go to the Online Student Center. And here's the home page. Since we're going to talk about degree requirements, let's look at the degree requirements page under advising. And now we'll click on lower division degree requirements for freshmen and sophomores. And here we are on the lower division degree requirements page. And we'll scroll down a touch and click on the lower division course requirements for freshmen and sophomores. We'll look at that first. This page explains that you have 60 credits of lower division courses, which is the first part of your 120 credit degree. So the lower division courses are broken into 3 categories: universal tracking courses, general education courses, and electives. So first we'll look at the tracking courses. And we call these, let's scroll up here a bit. We call these tracking courses because UF monitors you until you complete these. We watch to see that you're taking them in a timely fashion, and we also track the grades that you earn in these. There are 7 tracking courses: Intro to Financial Accounting, ACG 2071, that's Intro to Managerial Accounting, Principles of Macroeconomics, Principles of Microeconomics, Intro to Information Systems, Survey of Calc 1, or Business Calc as we call it, and then Intro to Stats. And so all 7 of those courses are required. They're 4 credits each, except for the Calculus and Stats courses, which are 3 credits each. Note that these are listed alphabetically, not in the order they should be taken in. When scheduling, it's best to mix and match the more challenging tracking courses with general education courses and electives. So it's super important that you know what your tracking GPA requirements are, because the grades you earn in these courses is what's going to allow you to remain eligible for the business major. If you don't meet the requirements outlined on the page I'm about to show you, you'll be asked to change to another UF Online non-business major. So this is serious stuff. It's super important. And so be sure to take notes here. So let's go up here where it says tracking courses have a specific timeline for completion and specific grade requirements. And we'll click there. And now we're on the lower division tracking timeline and grades requirement page. So the first thing you'll notice on this page is the tracking timeline. And we're not super focused on this per se. We realize that many of you are attending school part-time, and so this timeline is geared more toward full-time students. What we'll be looking for is for you to start these courses by your 2nd semester, and that you generally take 1 tracking course per term. So if you put off tracking courses, we're going to notice that and place a hold on your record. But if you are making slow but steady progress and completing your tracking courses, then that will be great. Now, what we are super focused on are the grades that you earn in your tracking courses, because those are predictors for success in our upper division curriculum. And I have to let you know that these tracking courses, they're pretty challenging, much more challenging than what you're used to, I'm sure. And so again, you've got to maintain your eligibility for the BSBA degree by earning a 2.5 tracking GPA in these 7 courses. Now, that doesn't mean you need a C+ in each course. It means you need a C+ average in the 7 courses. So if you had A's in all of your tracking courses and took managerial accounting last, which would be typical, and earned a D- in it, you would still be eligible for the business major, and you wouldn't have to retake managerial accounting, since UF considers a D- to be a passing grade, believe it or not. Now, if you were to earn a C- in your first tracking course, let's say you took micro, which would be typical, and you got a C- in it, you would be considered off track, and you'd get a registration hold on your record, because a C- is lower, obviously, than a 2.5 GPA. We'll give you a couple of semesters, or even 2.25, and we'll give you a couple of semesters to up your GPA, but if you're not able to get it up to the required 2.5 in a reasonable amount of time, you'll have to change your major to some other UF online major. And you probably don't want to do that. So you'll want to work with your advisor to schedule your courses strategically and to really concentrate on doing well in your tracking courses and making those a top priority. Are you still with me? I know this is a lot of information, but you can always refer back to this later on, and also consult with your advisor. So if you're doing okay, let's go back to the course requirements page and look at the general education requirements. To do that, I'm going to scroll up here and open this link. So back on this page, if you recall, we had the tracking courses, the gen ed courses, and elective courses. I'm going to talk about general education courses now. The easiest way to do that, though, will be for me to open this PDF that I created. If you click here for the lower division requirements for students who started UF as freshmen or sophomores in fall 2015 or later, that's you. We'll click on that, and let me put this PDF on the screen here and expand it. So this sheet gives you a nice overview of the first 60 credits you'll complete for the BSBA degree. And you see there's the 3 categories there. There's grade requirements listed and course numbers, names of courses, and when the courses are available. And you'll need to know that for scheduling purposes. Looking at the general education section, you'll notice that you have to earn a grade of C or better in a general education course for it to count toward the general education requirement. If you got a C minus or less, you would have to retake the course or a different gen ed course to fulfill that gen ed requirement. Next, I want to point out that this list only includes the gen ed courses you need to take in addition to your other required courses for the business major. For example, you'll notice I don't have any math or social science gen ed requirements listed, which you do have, but you'll automatically meet those requirements with your required tracking courses. So I didn't want to list them twice and make it look like you have more courses to take than you do. So now I'm going to go really deep on you here. Are you ready? Okay, there are 2 types of gen ed requirements. You've got the state Common Core requirements, and then you have college-specific gen ed requirements. If a requirement has a view course options link on it, like here, view composition course options, you'll know that it's a state core requirement because those courses that satisfy the Common Core, the state Common Core, are very limited. So you've got to choose from a limited list. And I'll click on this link here. And here is the list of allowable state core gen ed courses for the various general education categories. So for example, UF offers tons of biological science courses in all different departments and topics, but only 1 of 3 of these courses on the top row will satisfy the state core biological science, and that's the botany course, and then biology for non-science majors, and then biology for science majors. And the courses that are listed in orange are ones we recommend, just because most students aren't going to be interested in botany and would much more prefer a lighter non-science major biology course. So you'll have to look over this PDF carefully and when you're choosing your courses, and you can certainly consult with your advisor when you're having to pick out these courses. So I'm going to close that and want to say that, on the other hand, let's look at this biological and physical science requirement here. So that doesn't have the view course options link to it in this course name description column. And what you can assume from that is that you can take any UF biological or physical science course and it will satisfy that requirement. There's no special restricted list that you can choose from. So you've got the state core gen ed that all state of Florida students have to fulfill. And then our college has a few specific extra science requirements, different requirements that you have to complete. Okay, so now let's step back and take an overall big picture view of your general education requirements. First, you're going to need a basic composition course. Next, you'll have to take What is the Good Life? It is a UF course that all students are required to take. It's so that UF students have a common experience. The bright side of this is that that course will give you 3 credits toward the required 6 credits of humanities courses you need. Then there's an additional state core humanities course. Again, you'll click on this link here to view the list of courses you can choose from. Then you're going to need 6 credits of science, biological or physical sciences. One course has to be from the limited state Common Core list, and then one, as I said, can be any 3 credit science course offered at UF. And there's lots of interesting ones, as I mentioned, like wildlife issues or geology of American national parks. So you can ask your advisor for a recommendation on those. And be sure to note that you don't need any labs with these science courses. That would add an additional credit. Labs at UF are a whole course unto themselves unless you really love science and need a 1 credit elective. Most students don't take those. Lastly, all students, I'm skipping one section here. Let me back up. I was about to forget the diversity and international requirements you have, and you'll see those here. And those can be any course that UF defines as international or diversity. The international courses, that's pretty self-explanatory. The course has a global focus, whereas the diversity courses are focused on diversity within American society, within the US. So an international course is not the same as a diversity course. And the cool thing about these diversity and international courses is that they can be double counted. For example, you can take a humanities / diversity course or an international / biological science course and meet both the biological science and international requirement with 1 course. And that's a pretty good deal, I think. Lastly, all state of Florida students are required to complete 24,000 words of a writing requirement, and that breaks down roughly into 4 6,000 word courses. Word courses like international and diversity courses can also be double counted. For example, you can take a 6,000 words humanities or composition course. And I also want to mention that one of your required upper division business courses, the speaking and writing in business, and we'll talk about that later on, will give you either 4 or 6,000 words depending on what you prefer or what you need. So keep that in mind when you're planning out your writing courses. One common question that we get is, how do you know whether a course offers words, or how do you know a course is considered to be an international course? You can find that information in the schedule of courses, and we'll talk about that more, not in this video, but one-on-one with your advisor. And I think that information is forthcoming in a different presentation. But it's in the schedule of courses. There's a column that indicates that whether a course offers words, and you might see a 6 or a 4 or a 2, meaning 6,000 words, 4,000 words, or 2,000 words. And then in terms of how do you know if a course is an international course, it will have an in parentheses at the end of the course description, which you can link to from the schedule of courses. All right, so for many students, the goal is to meet their gen ed requirements in the most efficient way possible, and we're all for that. But if you need elective credits, then that's not quite as crucial. Just so you know, any UF course will be considered an elective as long as it's not required for your degree. Here's how to figure out how many elective credits you need. If you complete all of your tracking and gen ed courses in less than 60 credits, you will need to take enough electives to reach 60 hours. So that would be if you had 52 credits worth of tracking courses and general education courses, then you would need 8 free elective credits to finish out that 60 credits of the lower division course requirements. Your advisor can definitely help you with all this and give you a concrete list of your requirements and how many free elective credits you need, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what to expect. So we're about to wrap this section up, and then you can take a break if you need to. I know I do. It's exhausting looking at all these requirements, but don't worry, you can do this. I'm just going to take some time here, and I'll be here, to help you get through this. So going back to the lower division course requirements page, let me close this out and go back to this page. I want to take a look at the notes under the tracking and general education section. And here's the notes here, and the notes for general education courses there. So first off, I want to mention that if you took a tracking course at an out-of-state or private school, it has to be evaluated for equivalency. And here's this equivalency information right here. If you took a gen ed course at an out-of-state or private school, it will be evaluated for equivalency by your academic advisor on a less formal basis. We'll need to look at a course description from your previous school. Also, AP, IB, ACE, and dual enrollment credit will count toward both your tracking and gen ed requirements. You won't have grades that factor in there for your tracking, but definitely those courses will count toward your degree. And then one final issue I want to mention is math placement. UF won't just allow you to take any math course. And as you recall, you've got to take the MAC 2233 Business Calc for the business degree. So often, most often, students are required to take a math placement assessment to determine which math course they should start in. And that's a good thing because you don't want to get into a math course at UF that's over your head. It can get really ugly. So just click here to access the details about all of that. And that, oh, this is off the page here. Sorry about that. Here's the link to the UF Math Placement Exam, and I'll let you click on that and read those details. Okay, finally, you can take a break, take a nap, take a shower, get something to eat, and when you're ready to start back, carefully go back over these two pages, the lower division courses and grades pages, because the info we just covered is particularly important, and you'll be quizzed on it later. Welcome back. I hope you've recovered from the first part of your lower division requirements and finding out about those. Now we'll talk about all of the cool business courses you'll get to take in your junior and senior years. And to do that, we'll scroll back up, and we're still on the lower division course requirements page. We'll click here. We'll go back to the main degree requirements page and click on upper division degree requirements for juniors and seniors. And more specifically right now, we're going to talk about the upper division course requirements for juniors and seniors. So to fulfill your degree, you've got 2 years or 60 credits worth of courses to take, and that breaks down into 15 prescribed courses. And those courses are divided into 3 categories. There's the core courses, there's major courses, and there's professional development courses. And for those of you who do not have your Florida AA degree, you may need general education courses, possibly to meet the foreign language requirement as well. But let's look at your business courses right now. So the core courses tend to be the most challenging, and they cover all the functional areas of business. There's 7 of them. There's business law, business finance, international business, principles of management, operations and supply chain management. We refer to it as OpsMan, principles of marketing, and stats for business decisions, or business stats. So these aren't listed in, they're actually listed in alphabetical order. You don't want to take them in this order. They just happen to be listed that way. And then you'll note that in the core courses, you have to maintain a 2.0 GPA. This doesn't mean that you have to have a C in every course. Rather, you have to maintain a C average in these 7 courses. So here are your major courses. And these are just designed to give you additional business knowledge. So there's principles of entrepreneurship, leading organizations, strategic management, intro to retail, and real estate analysis. And these 2 require a 2.0 average in these 5 courses. So you have to maintain a C average. Doesn't mean a C in every course, but a C average in these 5 courses. And then you also have a set of professional development courses which are designed to give you skills for the workplace. And so those consist of effective career management, writing and speaking in business, and computing in the business environment. So looking at how this page is laid out, we've got the course numbers, the name of the course, and then you'll notice the term that the course is offered. So not all courses are offered every term. In fact, many aren't. So you can see that business law is offered in the spring and summer, whereas management, principles of management, is offered every term, whereas intro to retail is offered only during summer C. And by the way, we only offer courses during the long summer session. We don't offer any short 6-week courses like summer A or summer B, just so you know that. So let's go back to the Online Student Center homepage, and I'll show you the academic planning spreadsheet that I mentioned earlier. So here we are back at the homepage. We'll go to academic planning. And here's some great scheduling tips at the top of the page, but for now we're going to scroll down and look at the different academic planning spreadsheets. Actually, we're going to look at just one, but notice that there are multiple types of planning spreadsheets based on when you started and what category of student you are. So Florida AA students have their own. If you transferred in without a Florida AA degree, so maybe you have a Florida Associate of Science degree, or you're from out of state or from a Florida private school, you would look at the second category, and you're going to be looking at the second one there. And then freshmen and sophomores have their own. So just so we can cover all bases, I'm going to click on the spreadsheet for transfer students without a Florida AA. I'm opening that in Excel. It's perfectly safe to open. And there you'll see the planning spreadsheet that we created for you. So the academic planning spreadsheet really has everything you need when you're trying to figure out which courses to take and what all you have to take. Each of the courses that you need for your degree, all 15, are listed on this page and broken into the 3 main categories. You've got the course number, the course name, which is hyperlinked. Again, if you see anything that's blue and underlined in the Online Student Center, it's hyperlinked, so take a look at that. We'll click on business law, and there's the course description. So that link goes to the catalog and the course description for business law, which also lists the prereqs for that course. So you'll need that when you're planning out your courses. You'll need to know what the prereqs are. We'll close that. Go back to the spreadsheet. When the course is available is listed, and then here are the scheduling notes that I told you about, which give you some indication of the difficulty level and the nature of the course. As you can see, business law is a very challenging senior level course, heavy in reading and writing, as you can imagine. Business finance is a highly challenging quantitative course. It's probably our hardest course. So when you see notes that indicate that, you want to schedule accordingly and have a lighter load that semester. The degree requirements are even listed on this page, or excuse me, the grade requirements. So for your core courses and major courses, you have to maintain a 2.0 in that category. And then you'll see on the left-hand side, we have a template created for you to plan out your courses with. And I tell my students I'd like to see you have a few courses under your belt before I give a thumbs up to a particular schedule. But we encourage students to make these long-term academic plans, particularly after they have a few courses under their belt, and then send them to us so that we can give you our feedback on them. and because we don't want you to create nightmare schedules for yourself. So you can use the scheduling notes, you can use the when the course is available and the prereqs when you're creating your own academic plan. And then while we're on this page, I just want to scroll down a bit. The AAA, if you have a Florida AA, you won't see this on your planning spreadsheet, but for those who don't have an AA, you may have some general education coursework to complete. And these are the overall general education requirements for business students. You'll definitely want to confer with your advisor about which specific courses, gen ed courses you need to take, if any. It's possible you may have them all met. But your advisor will have to evaluate your transcript to determine that. And lastly, I wanted to point out this take a tour of the core. If you look at that, let me pull that onto the screen here. You'll get an overview of all your courses. And this is the course description and then some tips for success in business law and business finance. These are your instructors here. So take a look at that when you have time. And then back to the spreadsheet. Also, these buttons here are hyperlinked, and this link takes you to our course syllabi page. They don't always post course syllabi at the start of the term or before the start of the term, unfortunately, but you can go back and look at a previous term of when the course was offered and look at the past syllabus, and chances are there won't be too drastic a change between terms. And so you could use that as a basis for determining the nature and the work volume of the course. But I did want to show you that. And then back to the spreadsheet, we have a GPA calculator that's very handy, and then a list of academic resources that, I encourage you to click on all these buttons when you're on your own and you have time to do that. Actually, I thought of one more thing I want to mention. Sometimes our courses change, not very often. Usually when that happens, it's usually the major courses, excuse me. And you can see there's a couple changes that went on here. It was very recently. But you want to go back to the Online Student Center and refresh your planning spreadsheet periodically because of these changes. Otherwise, you're going to have some bad information. You're going to be saying, what happened to this course? And you're not going to see that it's available and wonder why. And that's because it was discontinued. So ECO 3713 was replaced by GEB 3017. And but if students took ECO 3017, they don't have to take GEB 3017. They've met the requirement, so we'll never ask you to take an additional course. You've got 15 courses to take, and that's all. I just wanted to make you aware of that. Well, it's time to wrap this video up. Before going any further though, please go back to the upper division course and grade requirements pages and carefully read them. I didn't go over the grade requirements page in detail, or really at all. I touched on the grades looking at the other page, but look at all the courses and read the course descriptions. Then read about your grade requirements and college grading policies. That's all really important information that you need to be well informed. And so you'll also be quizzed on it in a little bit, so make sure to pay attention and get this information down. So I appreciate your watching this video, and remember that as a business advisor, I'm your most direct source of information. I'm here to advocate for you and to help you in any way I can. And that holds true for the other advisors as well.